Okay, welcome back to grade 12 essentials. I hope you had a great spring break. I tried to give you a day of not having to do too much yesterday, and now we're going to move on actually to a brand new unit. If you want to talk to me about cleaning up your home finance unit, please do so. I also bought a fancy new selfie stick to try to take videos with my phone, so don't mind the tripod here. Anyways, we're all learning along the way here. Hopefully we can figure out a rhythm now that we're in this for the long haul. Okay, let's get going. So we're going to trigonometry. So this will feel more like your regular old math and remind you of potentially your grade 11 essentials, or if you did grade 11 and 12, or sorry, grade 10, 11, 12, applied. Anyways, some of this stuff will look familiar. Okay, so we're focusing on the sine law, and next will come the cosine law, and it's a trig formula that allows us to solve for any triangle. So if you remember back from grade 10, you did right angle triangles and only right angle triangles. So your SOHCAHTOA Pythagorean theorem only applied to right angle triangles, whereas sine law you can use for your other kinds without a right angle. So if we take a look at this triangle, ABC, and something to remember is that the side across from A we can label with a small a, the side across from C we label with a small c, and the side across from B is labeled with a small b. So it's the across part that's where you label that side the same letter as what's at the angle. So our side here is A over sine of A. So we're just going to calculate some ratios here. So that A would be 7.11. And if we put that in on the calculator, and my calculator, of course, is being silly. Okay, so we have 7.11 divided by sine of 80. That equals 7.22. We'll round to 2 decimal places there. And we can go ahead and do the same for the next one. We have B, side B over sine of B, which in this case is 60 degrees. And our side B is 6.25. So we do the same calculation, 6.25 divided by sine of 60. And that's 7.22. And go ahead and do the same for C. So we have 4.64 divided by the sine of 40. Also 7.2. So we notice that all of the ratios are the same using the sine law. So we can use that to solve some of the sides and angles of the triangle that we have. So handy tripod is a little annoying. Okay, so if we look at triangle PQR, we can find the values of those ratios. So we have side P, small p, over the angle, 6.3 divided by sine of 67. 6.84. Q is 5.6 over sine of 55. Okay, 6.84, and you can imagine that the next one would be the same. for the sake of time, we're just going to move it along here. So we can see that the sine law is the side of the triangle across from the angle, and all of those are equal to each other. So we can set them equal to each other. So let's take a look at how we can apply this in an example. So if I want to solve for this side here, which would be side B. Okay, so I have an angle here, a side there. And I want to know this side here. So we can set up a ratio. So what we know is C, side C, and its angle, sine, and we're going to put it in with sine, of 32. Over here, we don't know B, but what we do know is sine of 72. So we want to solve for B. So there, we can go ahead and cross multiply. I'm going to do this the long way. You can do it the short way once you see it all done. And then we want B by itself, so we're going to divide by B. So now that you know that, you can go ahead and skip that step in your algebra. I'll forgive you. You guys all talking about how your teacher talked about the coronavirus for like 3 months before it hit Manitoba in class? I would love to talk to you about all the stats that are coming out of this, but truly I just hope people are okay. Okay, so we can calculate for the side by using this ratio. We know that the side C over sine 32 is the same as the side B, not sine, over sine of 72, because that's the angle there. So we use that and we solve using our handy dandy algebra to get to B. Okay, we can do the same to solve for an angle. So in this case, I know angle A and side A. I know side C, but I do not know the angle. So again, it's always the side and angle that are across from each other that are related. So we have 25 over sine of 83, and that's equal to C, which is 15, over sine of C. Okay, so here's what we don't know. We can take that over there, and then we're going to have that move there, multiply, okay, 15 times sine of 83, and that's all going to be divided. Okay, so once we do this, then we need to divide sine of C by 25. We're going to divide by 25 there. So we have to think a little bit here about our math. We have 15 times sine of 83 divided by 25. So we get 0.59. I'm actually going to do several decimal places here. And we still have sine C. So if you remember back from trig, possibly last year, possibly 2 years ago, depending on your math path, to undo a sine symbol and to get our value by itself, we need to use the inverse sign. So to solve for C, we need to use the inverse sign of our long decimal, and that's why I kept so many decimal places. So we're going second function sine. So you make sure you have your little -1 sign up there. And if you're using your phone as a calculator, sometimes they can be tricky, so make sure you're getting the right answer. And that gives us the angle there. Okay. Then lastly, you can solve for the whole triangle, which you're just going to combine those various methods together to solve for the whole triangle. So what do we know? We know an angle, we know a side, we know another side. So we can set our ratio to each other. So if I have sine 50 over sine 60, And I have 35 side over sine of A. I'm going to multiply that by sine of 60, divide by 50. Okay, so we'll solve for sine of A. Sorry. 35 times sine 60 divided by 50, and then take the inverse sine of that. So we'll go second function, sine, I'll get my answer back. So A is equal to 37.3 degrees. Well, what do we know about a triangle? And that is that when you add the three together, the three angles together, they always equal 180. So if we subtract them, we'll get the other side. So we have 180, subtract 37.3, subtract 60, and that will give us our angle B here. So that's 82.7. Let's see if I can get this out of the way and have you still see. Okay. Then we're going to solve for this side, which is sine B. We already have our ratios set up, so we just need to use one of them. You could divide this number out too, hey? So we'd have B over sine of 82.7. So we're going to cross multiply and divide. So we land up with 50 times sine 82.7 equals B divided by sine of 60. And that will give us side B. So if you guys have questions, please, please, please send me emails. I'm often on Google Hangouts. Send me a message there. I am more than willing to have a quick video chat with you, do some examples. I've done that with other students, and I think it's been really valuable. It's like, oh, sorry, of course you didn't see that last part. So please make sure you're talking to me about the problems you're having. It's really weird just getting a quick 12-minute video and then being expected to know everything. So please ask the questions you need to. Okay, take care, guys. Bye.